Welcome to the Mirage Stamp System training video. In this video, we'll also feature a look at a Redo It system application, the Aqua Plus system, and the patina stain surface. It's best if you work off an equipment list to make sure that you have everything you'll need for the job. We have bins and several bags of ice. Run the mixing water through the bins. You don't have to open the ice bags. They'll cool the poured-in mixing water. Use the shade or make some shade to keep the mixed material out of the sun. It's particularly important year-round in southern climates and in June, July, and August in the northern states. Now make sure that you work from that equipment checklist that your lead guy signs and dates every day before the truck leaves. For surface preparation, edge it and power wash it. The primer comes dry. Mix with 2 empty clean pails. Split 3.5 gallons of water between the 2 pails. Split the primer and mix good for 5 minutes. Then put the 2 pails together and using the large cone mixer, remix for another 5 minutes. Cracks in the old concrete are repaired by first using a 4-inch die grinder with a crack chaser blade to open or clean all the cracks. Put 2 coats of primer on those cracks. First, fill the cracks with patch leveling material. Then place nylon tape down. Cut the tape to the size of the crack. Once in place, apply a skim coat over the tape. If cracks are small, just fill them to grade, and if it settles, add more material into the crack. Next, after using a chalk line to define the 10-inch borders in our Mirage texture stamp surface, use the forming tape to mark them out. Walk on top of the tape to assure it's tight to the concrete. Once in place, apply 2 coats of primer in the south and 3 in the northern climates. We're using Mirage Dark Gray for the borders with charcoal highlights. First, roll the pails to loosen the material, making it easier for it to flow into the mixing pails. Use a clean pail and add half of the 3/4 gallon of mixing water. Add in a cup of primer and mix well. Next, slowly add in the texture mix. Mix well and scrape off the sides of the pail. Pour in the remaining water while mixing. Mix at least 2 to 3 pails to start on a larger border project. You want to get this consistency. Here's where we mixed the liquid release. Using a funnel, we've added 4 cups of charcoal color and mixing with a release mixer that fits right into the spout of the 5-gallon pail. It's very important you mix it from 8 to 10 minutes. Use the hand pump sprayer to spray the release on the surface as well as the stamping tools. You can vary the stamp design by rotating the stamp each time. While it's still soft, you can use the roller tool to add grout lines in the borders every 12 inches. We'll leave the release on the surface till tomorrow. In cooler climates, the release can stay on for several days. In hot climates, the release can be cleaned off the same day. Any excess border material outside the border must be removed now while it's still easy to get up. And don't forget to pull up all the border forming tape the same day, or it's going to be very hard to get off. When we started the inserts, we placed the blue tape along both sides of the border. We cut the contractor brown paper to protect the border, taped it in place, and walked on it to get a tight fit. For the inserts, we're using Mirage Silver with charcoal highlights. Apply at least 2 coats of primer if you're located in southern states and 3 coats in the northern states. Rolling the pails helps to loosen the dry mix. Start with a clean 5-gallon pail, adding half of the 3/4 gallon of ice water, a half cup of primer, then the powder. In hot weather, it'll take 3 or 4 more ounces of water. Mix at least 3 pails as a start, then keep the pails coming to fill the inserts. Use the gauge rake. It sets the depth of the material at 3/8 of an inch. You can test the surface to see if it's ready to stamp by putting your finger in the mix. If it holds its shape, you can apply the liquid release to both the surface and the stamps. Rotate the stamps and overlap them. Pull the brown paper and the blue tape only if the surface is really hard. And don't leave the brown paper down overnight. Rain could cause staining on the borders from the brown paper. Once all the blue tape and cover paper are cleared, use the die grinder and a regular diamond blade to cut between the inserts and the borders. Going back over it a second time with a chaser blade will give a bevel finish and a better look to the project. Keep the surface wet at all times. The concrete cleaner and water are used to wash off the release. Go slow with this process and use a circular motion to get the appearance you want. Make sure the surface is totally dry before sealing. Use a high-quality roller cover, like a Purdy or a Worcester, with a 3/4 inch nap. The color comes alive with the Ultra Sheen 6000 or 7000. Wait 4 hours between the first and the second coat.